Hey guys, Brandon Lewis with DevKit Weekly, and this week we're covering the UDOO x86 board. So it's kind of funny, the world of dev kits is really dominated by ARM-based platforms. You see a ton of things out there in the Arduino ecosystem, and then of course from all of your typical silicon manufacturers like NXP, ST, all of them have a board that's based on an ARM microcontroller or microprocessor, and you don't really see a ton of Intel-based development kits. But that's all changing with the UDOO x86 board. Here it's in an enclosure, but there's a ton of interesting little components and gizmos and gadgets highlighted by an Intel Pentium processor. The 64-bit quad-core Intel Pentium processor is clocked at over 2 gigahertz, so there's plenty of power here to get you up and running in things like digital signage and other applications that require a little bit more performance, so much so you can see that there's a little heatsink. On that note, the Pentium processor is actually clocked at 2.56 gigahertz, just to be exact, and it comes with 8 gigabytes of dual-channel DDR3 RAM, so you've got enough performance and memory here to actually drive up to 3 simultaneous displays if you're building something like a retail signage type solution. So also on the Pentium processor that's at the heart of the UDOO x86 board is an integrated Intel HD Graphics 405 GPU unit, and that really helps you, like I was mentioning, with driving some of those simultaneous displays, or if you're looking to do any sort of multimedia application, there's 16 execution units on that integrated GPU, so plenty of extra horsepower there. And of course, the chip also supports a lot of audio and video codecs, so you don't need any additional hardware. If you are looking to use the UDOO x86 and the Pentium processor on board for some sort of visual type application, you're already covered. But beyond just the Intel Pentium processor, there's a bunch of other cool stuff on the board, starting with, of course, the Arduino connectors, which you can see here. As with a lot of the other boards that we reviewed on DevKit Weekly, that means that you have access to the entire Arduino ecosystem, including hardware capes and shields that you can plug on and merely make this thing whatever you want it to be. Of course, this one does come in a metal enclosure, just in case you need to deploy this immediately. It's really out of the box in whatever sort of application you're looking for. As I was talking about before, it does have a lot of interfaces to support something like digital signage. As you can see here, there's HDMI, mini display port, of course USB, and then there's the power as well as Ethernet. On the back, we also have a couple more USB 3.0 ports. But the UDOO x86, beyond the physical I/O, also supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. So it's really a nice package here that's versatile. It's got a lot of horsepower. There's a 32 gigabyte eMMC slot, so you can really get a lot out of this development kit just right out of the box. It supports Windows, Android, and Linux operating systems, so whatever you're accustomed to developing on, you should be right at home here with the UDOO x86 board. And there's even a 6-axis accelerometer and gyroscope on here in case you want to do something funky with it. Hate to keep harping on the digital signage, of course. There are a ton of other applications that you could use this for. I mean, given the connectivity and the processing power you have here, this would make a great IoT gateway, for example. But if you're looking to get your hands on this, the actual board, which is within the enclosure, sorry, we couldn't show it to you live this time, you're looking at about 315 bucks. And then the additional enclosure around it is probably about another 25, so I think I'm holding about 340 bucks worth of hardware here in my hand. Unfortunately, this week we're going to throw you a little bit of a curveball, and this one isn't going to be available on the form that we usually do on DevKit Weekly. To get your hands on this kit, you're going to have to be in attendance at Sensors Expo, which is the week of June 24th in San Jose at the San Jose McHenry Convention Center. We'll be giving these away every day at 3 o'clock at the Embedded Computing Design booth. So if you happen to be at Sensors Expo and stop on by about that time, you can enter your name and perhaps get an in-person chance to win our raffle. Anyway, that's it for the UDOO x86. I'm Brandon Lewis. Please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week on DevKit Weekly.